What is going on, my ladies and gentlefish? This is a gold silver crystal OU battle. TGBDUAL battle versus Gleam. Now, Jordan brought this guy to me. He said he's really good, so I was looking really forward to this match. So we got Ejection leading Bubba. I'm just going to go straight for the Fire Blast. I'm very surprised he stayed in. Maybe he just thought that for some reason Fortress wasn't going to be taking a Fire Blast. I will admit, in a lot of my videos, and until recently, had I not been using Fire Blast Machamp, so I do kind of agree to disagree on that play. But that is unfortunate. We got Shuriken in, and I'm just going to bring in a lot of heart. It's too early to overpredict anything. Just take the Psychic really nicely there. Again, having my special wall, I love it. I get Toxic, whatever. I'm trying to see what he's going to bring into combat my Blissey, and it is Donphan. Now, Donphan I did not expect. I do have to prop his team. He has a lot of spinners, and that is a nice thing because Spikes obviously does not bother him in the slightest, and that's kind of my idea here. I'm going to go straight to Phoenix, but he's also carrying the Ancient Power, so he's also a very offensive Donphan. So I'm going to take this opportunity as he curses up, which is not good at all. Donphan already has massive attack and massive HP. If things are paralyzed, Donphan runs through teams like sliced bread. Like it's just the bread and butter and just nailing them with those earthquakes. So I'm going to bring in Darien. I really don't want to take an Ancient Power or anything else. But luckily I come in on Curse, and that is going to enable me to haze off his Curse boosts if I so choose, which I'm going to. And he figures that out. He said, well, Travis or Vec brought in this Dragonite. It's probably got haze, so I'm just going to switch straight out into my Summer here. I was kind of surprised to see Umbreon, especially this early in the battle, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here. As I switch into Phoenix and take Toxic. I predicted Toxic and just spike up here. And he goes for the Hidden Power now. At this point, I was like really scared because I figured with 2-hit KO being HP Fire, but I'm thinking it's some kind of missap. I'm thinking it's HP Fighting or Ground because it was not super effective, and it did normal damage. So, as he decides to do that, I'm just going to blow up right now, and I catch Zapdos, and I have that wonderful Polka Dot Bow, which boosts my explosion by 20%, and that is going to easily take Zapdos out, being that Fortress has enough attack, plus the Polka Dot Bow, plus that 250 base power from Explosion. So, now I'm going to go out to Lamore, and again, everybody who's seen my recent battles, Lamore being probably the best threat on my team, my sub Lapras. So I'm going to switch here into Von Karma. I'm thinking he's going to go straight for the T-Bolt, and he does indeed carry it. But knowing he has the T-Bolt and the Psychic, I'm curious what other moves this thing is going to be carrying. And it's going to prompt me to go straight to Lot of Heart now. It was a little bit of a risky play to keep to go into Gar predicting on the Psychic, but luckily I've got a lot of heart in, and I'm kind of curious now what he's going to fight me with Blissey, because he needs to do physical damage to me, and he makes a great switch into Donphan predicting my Toxic, and that was just great. Now looking at the damage between Spikes and the already Toxic Donphan, just going to go for the Ice Beam. Not really sure what he was going for or why Blissey outsped Donphan, but it does happen that way. Donphan is going to go down right there, and that is going to prompt in Dreamer. Now, this thing I'm very terrified of if it's carrying the Swords Dance with Dual Stab or even Baton Passing into anything. I really don't have a lot to check it, and I'm actually really afraid. So he's going to go straight for the Swords Dance. And instead of going for the Thunder outright and trying to paralyze it, because Scizor is a pretty good threat, when Gold Silver Crystal first came out, Scizor was much more of a threat, carrying the HP Rock for the random Zapdoses and such, and it just really devastated stuff through the opponent's team. But Surf does not do anything because of the bulk of Scizor in second generation. So that +2 HP Bug, or I'm sorry, +4 HP Bug, you can see how much it's going to do to Lapras. It's going to take her down to 1, 2, 3. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go straight for the Thunder. I'm going to get the Para. And he thought it was a little bit cheap at this point. And to be honest, I do have Machamp who can take HP Bug and go for Fire Blast. But here I make a really good play and sub now that he is paralyzed. I want to get as much leftover recovery as I can. But at the same token, I really can't damage Scizor too much. It's going to be another 2-hit KO from this range alone. So I'm just going to have to continue to surf and hope something cool happens, which it does. I get another pair of hacks on his Dreamer. But to be honest, the main fight here was between Scizor and Lapras. I feel like he definitely could have KO'd my Lapras once again. I could have gone into Machamp when he was dancing. I don't know why I didn't. I guess I felt pretty comfortable with the matchup that I had. And now comes Umbreon. Now, I do still have my Machamp, and Machamp checks Umbreon oh so well. And that is pretty much what I'm going to do here, is go straight into my Machamp. Objection handles Umbreon with great ease, and so does Heracross. Now, Pursuit doesn't break my Lapras' sub, but I lose it because I switched. And I'm just going to go straight for the Cross Chop. You know, no over predictions and whatnot. And he's going to set up a Toxic, so it's Toxic, Hidden Power. I'm assuming Fighting for T-Tar? But I get the unfortunate crit right off the bat. And now it is going to be against Shuriken. And Shuriken, I kind of debated. I want to deal as much damage to this thing. I know he's going to go for the Psychic, but I know it's going to take me down to like 21 or like 100. 135, right in that range. But he gets the Spadif drop, which knowingly that would 2-hit KO either way. Just go for an Earthquake. It does a nice chunk of damage, and I still have my Blissey, unfortunately. So that is going to spell doom for it. He decides to recover here. I want to, again, it's still a tanky Pokemon, but considering I have my Special Wall intact, I shouldn't have any issues considering it cannot heal the Toxic. It can't switch out of Toxic. And yeah, so Lotta Heart is going to come back in here and do what Lotta does best. Be a country bumpkin and a nuisance. And set up a Toxic, just like that. And he's still trying to play the physical game with the Starmie, which I think if you growth past a Starmie, it would be a pretty big threat, considering it outspeeds a lot of things. But not in this case, going to go straight into Darien. And looking at Hydro Pump and Psychic, I'm thinking he's going to lack the Ice Beam. He does, because he's Hydro Pump, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Recover. So he does lack the Ice Beam, which prompts me to Dragonite to set up a Light Screen, and then I can pretty much do whatever I'd like to this thing, which is set up a Light Screen. And to be honest, I forget how I deal with it from this point. I think I just go straight for the Body Slam. I've got enough physical attack, and he's taking the poison damage, so I feel pretty comfortable in the matchup versus Starmie, considering I have that nice base attack. And Starmie goes down. So that was a wonderful game, Gleam. I just, I decided to, first of all, die in the middle of talking. And the second thing I decided to do, if you see where we had, the numbers, I decided to clear that from the video because that's really not a big deal anyway. It's the wins and how you battle. After the battle, we talked. He said I had wonderful team structure. I really appreciate the compliment. It takes a very long time to put a team like this together. So until next time, guys, I got to get ready for work. So rate, comment, sub, thumbs up, peace out, objection, and find the computer.